channel. So I wanted this video to be a little bit more of a sit down chatty video. I'm going to go through all of the brands that I have tried this year. There are quite a few. Some of them I've only tried eyeshadows, some of them I've tried eyeshadow and other makeup, and we're just gonna like talk through it. It's gonna be a little bit of a speed review round. I'm not ranking them at this point, but if you want to rank all of the new makeup that I brought in this year, that is a video that I did last year, and it will take me a long time to figure out everything I bought this year, but I can definitely do a video like that if you want me to do a similar style where I actually rank it from my least favorite item that I brought into my collection this year versus my favorite item. I will potentially try to do that if that is of interest to anyone, but that was also more of like a speed round because every time I went through the rankings, I actually spoke about like why I liked it or why I didn't like it or anything like that. So today is going to be more like a general, like these are just brands that I've tried this year, whether it be one item or several items. And even though I have acquired quite a lot of other makeup, if they're not in this video, it's because I've already tried the brand and that's why I'm not speaking about it. The only exception really is I do have What's Up Beauty on the list to talk about today. And I did technically try them right at the end of December last year, but I'm gonna kind of include them in this because I don't think it's fair. It literally was right before New Year's that I posted my first video where I received the palettes and I did a 3 looks, I think, with all the 3 palettes when I bought the bundle. And I have since tried more stuff from them and I just feel like let's include them. They were like my last purchase of the year last year, the last new brand that I tried, and I would like to talk about them. So anyway, here we are. This is what we're doing today, and I did rearrange myself a little bit just because the sun is in my face. Otherwise, if I have the camera where I normally have it, you can see like sun is literally right here. And so it was just going to be a nightmare and I would have to wait, and I don't have too much time to film today. So let's get started. The first brand I have to talk about, I did actually try some K-Beauty, not that much. I have to look at like when I'm looking at all of this because I did buy multiple items from the same brand. It seems like when I did my K-Beauty haul and like get ready with me and my first impressions, but I did try Misha for the first time this year. So I have the 4D just 4D mascara. This one I've been using pretty regularly the last couple of months now, and I'm really trying to get through it. It is a nice little wand. At first I wasn't too keen on it, but actually I've grown to really enjoy it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to link below all the products I'm going to talk about. I will put a little asterisk if they are affiliate links. If not, I'll just have a link to the product anyway. I don't have affiliate links for everything, but I do have affiliate links for most of the time, like in terms of like what I wear for my videos and things like that. So in case you're not aware, I do try to link the makeup, or at least put the makeup that I'm wearing for each of my videos. But anyway, for the purpose of this video, because I'm talking about quite a lot of products, I will try to put links where I can find them, and if they are affiliate, I will have a little asterisk just so you know that I potentially could get a kickback and whatnot, whatever. The other thing that I tried was this. This is the Misha cushion. It's the Misha Magic Cushion Cover Lasting. So I really have only tried this a couple of times. I don't know if it's really, well, I didn't really show you anything because there it is. I don't know if this is the type of product that's really ultimately for me, but I do need to play around with it a little bit more. I obviously wanted to try it because, you know, I think magic cushions, or I think foundation cushions, just became quite popular this year, especially the tier one, which I was considering trying, but because I have this one and I never like think about going into it, I don't want to buy another one just simply because I'm being influenced to buy another one. I've also heard that this one, you really shouldn't use too much, otherwise it can be pretty drying, and I have noticed it looks a little drying when I have it on, especially like around here, because I'm mostly dry. Like I do have combination skin, so I have oily T-zone, but I'm very, very dry on my forehead, and that's where my wrinkles are happening. You know, you can like see, I don't have Botox or anything, so you can definitely see what's going on my forehead there. So it doesn't look the best, I will say, over here, just from memory when I tried it, but I didn't have an overall bad experience from it. Next up, we've got Singe Beauty. So Angelica just posted her video today about her new eyeshadow palette, and I will be trying to pick it up. She did mention that it's going to be on pre-order come Black Friday. I'm posting this, I think, before Black Friday, like the few days before Black Friday. So I'm hoping that I can get my pre-order in come Black Friday. I will just have to see if it depends how much stock she has. I'm sure she has quite a lot of stock, but I do think it actually is a really nice looking palette. The color story I think is pretty. It's not like wow in my face for me, but I did enjoy the looks that she created, and I know, knowing Angelica, I kind of can trust what type of eyeshadow it is. I'm hoping so. So I will be trying her new eyeshadow palette. Whenever I get it, I will try it. Obviously, I'm not in the US, so she already said it's going to take 2 weeks to ship, and then it might take even longer to get to me, so I don't know. Maybe I will have it in January. Who knows? I did try 2 of her blushes this year. I also have her whole set of eyeshadow brushes, which this is the first item that I tried from hers this year. And then these were on Monolith, and I really wanted to try them. So I have the Persistent Persimmon, and I have the Riveting Rhubarb. I like both of these. I think they're really actually a stunning formula. I actually kind of think I like the Riveting Rhubarb one the most, which is more of the mauvey pink one. I don't have that many mauve blushes anymore because a couple of years ago I basically decluttered all of them, and I ended up with just a bunch of peach blushes left in my collection. So anything that's pink, it's like unique to me because I don't have a lot of pink blush anymore unless they're in blush palettes. This one is also really pretty. I did pull it from my Shop My Stash because I hadn't been like trying it, and I have tried it a couple times, and it's really, really beautiful. I think the thing about this is they have a beautiful sheen, but they're not like glitter. They're not sparkly in any way, but they do leave a gorgeous sheen on the cheeks that is somewhat natural looking, and so it's not like a pure matte. Okay, next up we've got another K-beauty brand. This is the brand The Same. I don't know if I mean, that's what it says, The Same. So I have a just a little pot concealer that I tried. I also picked up 2 of these. Now these are blushes, but I picked this one up specifically to try to work as a bronzer. The shade for these, I don't even think they have the shades on them, to be fair. Yeah, I don't think they have the shades, but it's a very cool tone shade. And actually when I tried it, it did work as a bronzer, even though it looks ultra cool tone. It's like the color of my shirt. It's probably like really great for the winter, actually, to be honest. I should get some use out of this. And then I picked up this blush a few months ago, and it's just beautiful. It's vibrant, and it's everything I would want from a color like this. So very pigmented and really, really beautiful. So definitely like a fun color. I feel like I did well with these 2. I think I would have been bored if I picked like a neutral leaning blush. I wanted to try something different. And I think the pot concealer is actually quite nice. It's not too stiff. It's also not really that creamy. So it's like a good balance in between. But yeah, there's quite a lot of product in there, so it's going to take me a bit of time. Next up, I also tried a brand called Etude, which is also a K-beauty brand. So I have 3 of these. The third one, though, I don't know where it is. These are the fixing tints, and I've got Salmon Brick. I've got this one, which is Coral Breeze, and then I know I have Woody Pink, and Woody Pink I already used this month, so I think it's literally behind you, because I have my basket of lipsticks behind you, but I don't want to go digging right now. So these actually are really, really nice, and it's the first time I've tried this brand, and I wanted to pick up, obviously, and try some lip products. They actually, they feel really weightless on the lips, and I really, really enjoyed them. And I think the shades of these, they all came in like a little bundle of 3. I think they're really, really beautiful, and the shades are really nice. So I actually really enjoyed that purchase. Another little one that I picked up in that same video was Desic. So this one is, I don't remember what this actual lip product is, but it's just like another tinted, like a liquid lip, but they're more like creamy. They're not like liquidy at all. And this dries down really beautiful. This is more of a mauvey pink. And I don't have too many of those in my collection. So this was kind of unique for me to pick up because, again, a few years ago, I got rid of all my mauve lip products as I just wasn't wearing it. And now I feel like I'm missing them. So I wanted to pick something else up that like had that similar vein. And I actually enjoy that. I haven't really worn it too much, but I think it's a pretty color. I'm just trying to get through all of the brands where I've only have a few or one or two items to talk about, because the rest of them, it's either an eyeshadow palette or an eyeshadow palette plus other things. So that's why it's a little scatty at the moment. All right, these next ones, I think I only have one of each. So I did try something from Made by Mitchell. I probably am one of the very few left on YouTube who has not tried Made by Mitchell. They're literally everywhere, especially if you are more part of like the UK YouTube or EU YouTube, because you know they're all over the UK. It's a UK based brand, and he's pretty much expanded everywhere, and you can find him literally anywhere. Not so much in Portugal, but it's definitely online and on Beauty Bay and all that. So I tried the highlights instead of trying their blushes or anything else. I really wanted to try this because I was really desperate to try some powder that would work under my eyes, because I do have, you know, somewhat crinkly under eyes. And actually the first time I tried this, I really didn't enjoy it, but the second time and the third and all the other times that I've used this, I really enjoyed it. It's just because I ended up realizing, oh, I have it backwards. I ended up realizing that the shade that I used the first time wasn't the best one. I can't recall which is the one I used first. It might have been Stellar, but I think, or maybe I tried that one, but since then I've tried these other two. I think the only one I haven't actually gone into is this one called Celestial. Do I need all of these shades? No, I do not, but you know, it is what it is. It actually isn't too expensive, and I kind of like the compact, so I did try Made by Mitchell. Would I try anything else by Made by Mitchell? I have almost bought several things from them, but there's just something kind of gimmicky about the brand. I'm not sure if it's really for me or if it's for a younger crowd. I'm not going to say that the items aren't beautiful or they intrigue me, because they actually do. I'm waiting for something to come out to really grab me, because aside from the blushes, I don't really have any interest in anything else. And then also, I don't really use liquid blushes all that much. So even though I would love to try them, in reality, I don't really use that type of product all that much. So it just would be another item in my collection where I'm not really getting much use out of it. So I don't know, it really depends on what they keep coming out with. They have all of their like palettes, like those cream palettes, and then they came out with the ones that were more like shiny and shimmery. I almost bought that one too, but then I thought, well, I don't wear a lot of cream products. I'm not against it. I do wear them occasionally. I do like cream bronzer a lot, but I don't wear a lot of cream blush or cream highlighter, and if I do, I already have ones that I really enjoy, so I don't know if I really need like a full palette. I wish they released single unit items. I think maybe that would intrigue me a little bit better, as opposed to their big, huge bulked packaging and sets. I think maybe that's putting me off. Okay, then I tried Embryollos. I actually potentially have already tried something from Embryollos before, but it would have been a skincare item. This is not a skincare item, so this is the Soin Blush de Peau, and it's basically, I don't know what it is. It's a radiant complexion cream. So I have it with my primers because I don't know what else to use it for. I bought it because I wasn't sure what it was. I wanted to try it. I've tried it several times now. I still don't even know what this is. It has a tint, but when you put it on and you like actually blend it into the skin, it doesn't have a tint anymore, but it does give kind of a nice glow. I think the reason it has a tint is I think it's supposed to, if you have like blemishes, it's supposed to be more like a color correcting formula, maybe. That's what I'm assuming. It's a nice product, but I don't know if I really like it. I do want to try their tinted one, but everywhere I look, I'm waiting for it to be a little bit cheaper or a little bit on discount, just something like that, because I do find it quite expensive, the brand. And yeah, actually, come to think of it, I definitely have tried this brand before, but it was skincare and I loved their skincare. But again, it's expensive. But because we're talking about makeup, let's focus on the makeup. Okay, next we've got Purito. So this is the first time I've tried Purito, And this is the Cica Clearing BB Cream, and this is in Neutral Ivory. I have it with my foundations. It's actually pretty pigmented, so I can use this as a foundation. It's very lightweight, it blends in really nicely, and it's not like mattifying or anything. It's not a thick formula, so I actually think this is a really nice product, and I thought it was a really good purchase. This is another one where I bought for my K-Beauty try-on video, and actually, you know, that video was pretty good because I didn't have too many duds. Burrito is another brand where they do have a lot of skincare, and so I think I'm mostly interested in their skincare, but obviously they had this and it's more of a makeup item. All right, and then I think this last item is the last one where I only have one of them to talk about, and then everything else is gonna be multiples or eyeshadow. So I also tried Iconic London this year. This is the Underglow Blurring Primer. If I have tried Iconic London, I think it would have been an eyeliner, and it would have been a few years ago. Maybe I still even have the eyeliner, but I don't necessarily consider that me really knowing the brand at all. So I purposely went out and bought this, and this is beautiful. This is this is like velvet on the skin. I can't tell you like how great this product is. It is so lovely. And I don't know if you can really tell, but I've used a little bit. I mean, there's still quite a lot of the bottle left, but you can, it's one of those where you, as a project planner, you can see where you are. So it's kind of fun because it's see-through and it's frosted glass. It's quite luxurious. I think I got it on sale. I think you can get this pretty much in most retail, like online retail websites though. So yeah, I mean, if you are in the lookout for a glowy primer that looks and feels really lovely on the skin, I would definitely recommend it. It is somewhat tinted, but it's not going to be a foundation. It's not going to give you like the coverage that you need at all, unless you're going for that very natural look, which actually it could be, to be fair, it could be fine for you if you have lovely skin anyway. It might be a really nice one to use over the summer too. But yeah, I actually really enjoy this. These are just in front of me, so we're just gonna go through them. So I tried Makeup Factory for the first time this year. I don't know, this is a brand that you can get outside of Europe, so this might not be of interest to anyone. But the first things that I picked up was an eyeshadow palette. I picked up, this one is the Gold Selection eyeshadow palette. I've spoken about this a few times in videos because I actually think it's a really sweet little travel palette, and actually the formula is really nice. I would definitely consider buying this if you are on the lookout and you are in one of those, like, you know, those like department perfume stores. This is basically where I bought it from, and it wasn't too expensive, but it also is not like super cheap, so it is a little bit more like on the heftier side. It's just like a matte black packaging, a little bit weighted, but the actual formula definitely reminds me of ABH formula in some ways, not as powdery as ABH, but I do think it is really nice. And I was able to swatch this in the store before I bought it, so it wasn't a complete, you know, shot in the dark. At the same time as that, I also tried two of their matte lipsticks. So I have a nude one, which I think is called Nude or Nude Beige, but it doesn't have the name on the packaging, which is kind of a shame. But I really do like this. It's a very cool tone nude. It's kind of like this color, so it's not the best all year round, but definitely for the winter I think it works really nicely. And then I picked up this beautiful coral. I haven't worn that much coral this year, I've noticed. I definitely wore more of it the previous years, so this is definitely one that I want to use a little bit more in the coming year because it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and I think it suits my coloring. So pick those up. This is the last thing that I picked up from Makeup Factory just a few months ago. This is a matte bronzer, and I'm really enjoying this. I actually just pulled this from my Shop My Stash, and I'm just playing around with it, getting a little bit more use out of it. It's a really nice formula. It's kind of fine, and yeah, it's not too warm tone too. I think it's a really nice neutral color. I don't know what color I have though, to be fair. They're not very good. I think this is a German brand. It says it's made in Germany. This might be a German brand. It's not very good at telling you the names. I think all of the names were on like the outside packaging, and I don't keep the outside packaging. But anyway, it's probably the lightest bronzer shade that I have. And then I did try rom&nd or rom&nd. This is a K-beauty brand. So this one, again, for that same video, I tried it. And again, I've spoken about this palette a few times. This was, if I had to rank definitely all of the products that I brought into my collection this year, this would be definitely towards the bottom because it just doesn't have too much going for it. It really lacks anything. I think the mattes are fine, but the mattes I can find anywhere in other palettes that I already have. And the shimmers just let it down. It has 2 glitters too. I didn't realize it came with 2 glitters, and the 2 actual like shimmers are not that special at all. And again, I have better in my collection. So overall, I was quite disappointed with this palette. I obviously picked quite a neutral palette because I wanted to pick something that I could use if I really liked it throughout the year. Yeah, this definitely could be decluttered at some point. I don't think I'm going to be doing a declutter series this side of the year. I think I'm not at the point that I want to get rid of anything in my collection. So if you're holding out and waiting for me to do a declutter series, because I know most people do it between now and the end of the year, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do one, but maybe sometime in the future, like maybe a spring cleaning video, I will do it. It doesn't seem right, and I don't want to declutter stuff if I don't need to. All right, let's talk about What's Up Beauty, because I do have quite a lot from them. They've been very, very kind to me for such a small, like I am such a small channel and I don't have that much influence in terms of Instagram, on TikTok or any, like I really like it's so minimal. And so the fact that they reached out to me was like one of the strangest things that happened this year. But before they did reach out to me, I did actually end up buying the bundle of palettes from them. And you know, these are the palettes that I tried right at the end of last year. And I'm really, really happy that I did. So I always wanted the Geodes palette, and I think this is such a stunning palette. I actually have gotten quite a lot of use out of it because I've hit pan in this shade because it's in my pan those eyeshadows. And I just think it's a really beautiful formula and just kind of a fun palette. I also got the Dragon's Eye. So when I got the bundle, I think the Dragon's Eye had just released and it was part of that bundle. So I was like, I gotta get that. This one I've also got some use out of, and I did hit pan in this shade, again in a pan those eyeshadows this year. And funnily enough, when they reached out to me, they wanted to send me this palette, and I was like, well, that's so kind of you, but I already have this palette from you. And then they're like, oh, what else can we send you? So it was a nice thing that they actually wanted to, I don't know, it was nice. But in that bundle, we also had the Monsoon. This one, I think, is just the one that I've used the least. I don't have as much interest in this one. I think the blue throws me off. I'm not gonna lie. I have used it and I have enjoyed all the looks that I've done with these palettes, and this one included, but it is my least favorite in terms of color story out of the 3. But it was such a good bundle, and I don't know if they still have that bundle, but obviously if they do and you haven't tried What's Up Beauty, I think the formula is really, really beautiful. So if you want to take my word for it, I would suggest definitely going ahead and trying them. So the items that they ended up sending me, which was really, really kind. So I've actually already used one of their lipsticks this month, and it's in the basket behind you. But they did send me 3 of their Egyptian collection lipsticks. They sent me like their whole Egyptian collection, basically. So in that, you get 3 different lipsticks. You get the Ankh, which is this one right here. So it's like more of like a brick red, but a little bit muted, not like a full red. And then this one is Eye of Ra. This one's more of the sort of neutral one, and then the one that I've already used, I can't recall the name, but I did use, I think it was more the mauvey one. Yeah, I used the mauve one like last week, I think. But they sent me 3 of those, which was so, so kind, and I'm still beyond shocked that they sent me these. And then these were part of the same collection. I will say these ones just don't suit me as a makeup creator or makeup wear. I just don't use these types of products. So these are liquid liners, and I really did try. I really tried, and I think I failed. I tried to use these. There's like a standard black one, which, you know, most people have, and I can't really compare this to anything because I don't use the style product in my everyday. So when I do, it's probably once a year and that's it. So I can't really judge that one. This one I definitely tried to figure out how to use it, but I have to be honest, I just don't think I don't think the pigmentation is there for this one, even though it's a really stunning like idea and concept. And the color itself is actually really pretty. So it's like it's like this green iridescent, and it has a lot of flip to it. But I think the problem is like when it, oops, oh no, it just dropped all over my, oh no. I was holding it upside down. You see that? It just dropped on me. No! All right, well, let's hope it doesn't stain. Anyway, as I was trying to say with this item, I really tried my best, but you can see it does have like a yellow base to it as well. It's very pretty, but when I was putting it on my eyes, and I tried it, I think twice in videos, and then on my own as well, I just could not get this to show up on my eyes. And maybe it's just me, or maybe I'm supposed to put the black down and then I put this on top of the black. But because I don't have the skill set for that, it was just more of a finicky item. I'm glad that I have them and I can talk about them, and it's nice to have these, and obviously the packaging is absolutely stunning. But it was just more of a, it's not necessarily the product, it's more a me thing because I just don't use eyeliners. And that's fine. They also sent me a mascara when they sent me that. This is the Watch Me mascara, and I do wear this quite often. I only have two mascaras open, so I have the Misha 4D, which I've already spoken about, and I have this one, and I'm just trying to work through all of them. Well, all of them, the two of them. So it's kind of an interesting wand. So you have like a more of a brush bristle, and then you have more of the silicone bristle, and it's kind of edged. It's interesting. I actually really like this. I will say, it can be kind of messy. It can be messy if you're, you know, messy, right? So I have put this all over my lid at some point, but since it's dried down a little bit over the last few months, it actually is much easier to work with. I think when I first got it, because it's just obviously very, very wet, it was a little bit messier, but now it's not as messy, and it does separates the lashes really, really well, I think. So I think it's a nice product. And then over the summer, I thought they sent me that stuff and then that was gonna be it. But they also sent me some other items. They came out with their Positivity primer over the summer, and they asked me if I wanted it, and I was like, sure, absolutely. So this is a lightweight hydrating face primer. I've used it a couple of times. I haven't used it too much though, because I just have a lot of primers, but maybe they know that, I don't know. But it's definitely nice. I actually have nothing bad to say about it, so it's a nice primer. If you're looking to try a new primer, it's absolutely lovely. And then they asked me if I wanted to try anything else on the website. So obviously they've had these for a little bit, and I was like, well, your highlighters are absolutely beautiful, so they kindly sent me both of them. So I have the Safari Sunset and the Wild Acacia. And I have been playing with these the last couple of months. So this is the one currently in my Shop My Stash. I actually have this in my inner corner highlight. This is really beautiful. It's more of like a icy pink. And then this one was really good for the summer. This is the Safari Sunset. It's more of a peachy vibe, and it was very, very lovely. So these are actually gorgeous. I really like these. I think they have all of these products on their website still too, so that's fun. Okay, the next up, I did try Lethal Cosmetics for the first time. As you know, if you've been following my channel the last few months, I've been speaking about these a lot. They've been rolled into projects. I can't get away from them, but the formula is just amazing on these. And I'm so glad that I tried Lethal Cosmetics this year for this set. This is the Avatar: The Last Airbender set, because apparently this is their best formula ever. So I got the Fire, which you guys have seen this, but I went into this again this month, and because I wanted to get some more use out of it. And then I've got the Air one, which, as you know, I have hit pan on, so that is exciting. Then I've got the Earth one, which is one that I want to go back into in the next few weeks. And then the Water one is actually currently in my pan as eyeshadows. I'm trying to hit pan on this. I actually have this on my lids today. And I put this on this morning. So my makeup has been on a long time, my eyeshadow makeup. And I have to say, it has creased, but it has not creased as badly as some other makeup brands. I have to tell you that. And it's just like kind of amazing. So yeah, very, very beautiful. It definitely is creased. Let me just put a little bit more here. I always crease here, but sometimes I have brands and they crease on me in like an hour. I've been wearing this for like a good 6 hours, 7 hours. It's still there and it's looking beautiful. So that's a big plus too. I think if you haven't tried Lethal, or if you tried them previously and you were maybe bummed out by the formula, but now you want to try them again, hopefully they continue to live up to this formula. It would be such a shame for me to buy more from them and then for it to not be as good as these ones. But I thought this was an amazing buy. I was very pleased with myself that it was so good. Next up, I tried Ensley Rain Cosmetics because so many of you, I had my eye on them for the longest time, but so many of you said I would also love them. So I did end up getting the Flower Moon. I almost got the Moon Spell. I think it's the Moon Spell where it's more of the like cool tone palette. I almost bought that one too. But this one, I don't know, for some reason at the time, this is the one that spoke to me the most. So I bought this one and I'm pleased that I did. And I'm really pleased that I tried the formula. I think it's a beautiful formula. I think for me, this is more of a spring palette. So I think I'm gonna enjoy it a lot more come March, April time. But I think generally the quality, I have nothing bad to say about it. And I'm watching all of their releases. They are coming out with so many different palettes. I'm kind of just like waiting to see, you know, which is the next one that I will try. All right, next up we've got Glaminatrix. This is a palette that I saw a Monolith and I have always wanted, I'm not even showing you them, and I've always wanted to try them, Australian brand, and this one I actually have gone back into and I'm trying to film a 7 look 7 palettes video for you. I don't know when it's going to be posted, but I have done a second look with this palette in that video because I know I've only done one look so far on camera with it, but now I've done a second one, which hopefully I will be able to post in the next coming weeks. And it was beautiful. It was lovely. I really, really enjoyed it. So nothing to say, nothing bad to say here. Love the color story, love the formula. So yeah, I think this is like up there in terms of like, you know, like one of my best buys of the year. Okay, and then we have 2 more brands, unless I've completely forgotten something, which it could happen. It could happen, you know. I am only a human. So the next one is Gourmande Girls. And this one I picked up, and this is the Peach Perfect palette. So I bought this at the same time as I got the Ensley Rain palette. This one I got also from Monolith, and this is just, it's beautiful. But it was one of those palettes that I have to wear during the spring, summertime. It just doesn't see, it's not a winter palette for me at all. I'm not into these tones at the moment, but I get into my peaches around springtime, so I'm definitely going to be jumping on this. And also in March I really like going into greens, so I just know that I have to just wait to go into this. I have gone into it, I've done the look, I love the look. I did put the look up on my channel, so if you want to go look at that, I will try to link it in the cards if I remember when I'm editing. But other than that, this is beautiful, and I would definitely try more from Gourmande Girls, knowing that their formula is what it is. I think it's really, really beautiful, and I'm just like, as you can tell, I'm into my indie brands. I think indie brands is the way for me. All right, last but not least, I did try Lunar Beauty. So I do have 2 palettes from Lunar Beauty, and I also have the Moon Prism blush palette. So let's go into this one first. This is stunning. I actually really, really like this. I haven't gone into it in a while, and I feel like I need to pull it. It's like just calling to me. I don't know what it is, but this is a blush palette. Although this one, to be fair, could be technically like a little bit of a blusher or a blusher. You know, like a blush bronzer. Is it are they called blushers? I don't know. This, it's like an in-between, but it does have a little bit of a sheen to it. And I don't know, I think the formula of these are really, really beautiful, and they're quite nicely pigmented, but not like too much. And as opposed to, because he has a few of these, this one is more of the muted palette, and he does have one that's a little bit more vibrant. I'm really glad that I picked this one up because I think you can build these up and, you know, be a little bit more less careful with it and you don't ruin your face. If I had got the one that's a little bit deeper or more vibrant, I think I would have ended up going to the Circus. So anyway, I think this is really, really beautiful. And then I did pick these up when he came out with the Moonshroom because I could not get this palette. I got this back in the springtime and it's so beautiful. It is really, really beautiful. And I have always really been interested in this one too. So we'll talk about this one. So this is the Nude Prism. This one I think is a very beautiful neutral palette. Do I need all of these shades? No. I think maybe the problem that I have with this palette is that there's just too many shades and they don't repeat themselves, but there's just an awful lot. And so I think this maybe could have been a £9 palette and it would have been fine. But then if it had been a £9 palette, I probably wouldn't have bought it. So what does that tell you? That I'm crazy, I really do think the formula is kind of fun with these as well. It's not your typical indie formula at all, but I actually really do enjoy it. But this one, this Color Story, this one I had to get. You know what this one reminds me of? And it was so sad that I had to let go of that palette. The lighting is getting a bit odd. But I used to have a bunch of Nomad cosmetic palettes. And for whatever reason, their formula just doesn't last in my home. My home is quite humid and we don't have proper ventilation. We live in Portugal. So it's just like a more of a humid, wet climate at times. And even though we have dehumidifiers and I can open the window and have ceiling fans and whatnot, some of my makeup does go moldy, I've noticed, and others don't. And I noticed with my Nomad cosmetics, that's why I haven't bought anything from Nomad in ages, even though they do come out with stunning palettes. And I really always loved the formula. I really liked their palettes, because they all went moldy, more so than any other palette in my collection. Them and Beauty Bay are like the toughest ones. So with my current Beauty Bay palettes, I have to like check them every single week just to make sure that they're okay and wipe them down because I'm very paranoid. But with the Nomads, it wasn't meant to be. I had to basically trash all three of them. And I had the Fête de Provence palette, which was a limited edition, but it had a very similar vibe in terms of the yellow and the purple, and I really missed that. So when I looked at this, yes, it has like your grungy greens and it has a little bit of peachiness and some chartreusey, and then obviously these darker greens and browns, which is all very nice and lovely. But it was this over here that I was really intrigued by because it really reminded me of the Fête de Provence, which I had to let go, which I absolutely love that palette. I swear, all three of my Nomad palettes, I spent so much time hitting pan on them, getting use out of them, and I had to chuck them all. It was like the saddest thing, but I couldn't keep them. I would wipe them, get rid of everything, and the mold came back. So yeah, I wasn't gonna put that on my eyes. No. But anyway, back to Lunar Beauty. I know that Manny is controversial and unliked by the community on several issues like dramas, past and maybe present as well. I generally don't get involved in the discourse around all of that. Obviously, there are creators which I will absolutely not purchase from. However, I do feel as though, that aside, I couldn't deny myself this palette. So as much as that could be a factor, I know I'm a big hypocrite, I did end up buying this and obviously buying the other two palettes from him. Will I buy more from Lunar Beauty, knowing what the formula is like? Potentially not, because honestly, I feel like I have quenched my thirst now. And, he keeps coming out with more stuff. He's got a new palette. I don't really feel like his formula, like the quality of the eyeshadow, is my number one eyeshadow if I had to rank all of the actual, in terms of like formula preference. I don't think it's my favorite. So I don't think I would. I also bought two massive palettes from him. I don't think I need any other shades from him anytime soon. And I have a lot of palettes that have a lot of pinks, purples, and dark purples and all that stuff. So, I don't think I'm missing out on anything. The blush palette is beautiful. Really, really enjoyed it. So I think that's it in terms of all the brands that I have tried this year. I know this is a very long video and I appreciate most people will not watch it, so that's absolutely fine. But in case you wanted to try anything from these brands, maybe this is a fun video, an insightful video for you. Obviously, it's Black Friday around the corner. Maybe you're holding off and this could give you an idea of what to try and maybe what not to try. I think personally it's so nice that I don't have too much in front of me that I really don't like. I've been very, very honest about my issues with certain items, you know, whether it be my fault or the item's fault, and also just like preference as well. So hopefully it's been entertaining or maybe fun, or you've had me in the background. That's absolutely fine. I hope everyone is doing well. If you are based in the US or you celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And if you're spending time with loved ones, I hope you all are safe and doing well. And I will see you all in my next video. Thank you. Bye.